Now, how do you do this to make it go? Orientation is locked. That's why. Duh, it's saying because the orientation is locked. Hey, everybody, if somebody is on there, it can't. Oh, I know. Wait, hold on. I think
no, it can.
I think. Hold on. Bear with me if somebody comes on here. We learning this whole little thing here. Oh, you know why? I won't worry about it at this moment. Still trying to get adjusted here, you guys. We're going to be going live here on YouTube and on Facebook in just a second. For those of you who may be joining on YouTube, going live is a new experience for us. Myself, Demetra, and Donovan, and so we're going to try this out, if you will.
It ain't new for me.
It ain't new for you. You be getting on people's nerves.
Yes, I did. Doing my job.
So I'm going to go ahead and go live here, so whenever you...
Wait. Where's your mic?
Oh.
You got a mic on?
I'm all mic'd up.
What time is it? 3 o'clock right now?
It is 3 o'clock on the dot.
All right, hold on. I'm ready. I'm with you. Hold on. Remember, you got 3 different cameras, so...
I know. I got to get used to that.
Get ready?
All right. Let's see here.
You're on live.
All right, everybody. So, waiting for my Facebook. Hello, everybody. It is me, Demetra K. I am sitting here with Donovan throwing rocks and high in his hand, Sadiq. They can't see you as much on here. There you go. And to those on the podcast, welcome. Facebook, welcome. This is the, I don't know what edition this is of the Demetra K show, but it's quite a few.
Yeah, it's close to 100.
It's been in its inception, well, it's been around, I should say, for about almost 3 years, coming up in April, so it's a long time. But anyway, I want to go ahead and get started. As always, it is the purpose of this show to promote Black love, knowledge, and understanding of all things that go on in the Black community in hopes of making us a better people. Also, again, I'd like to say thank you to Donovan, who was taking a swig and he was choking. You want me to pat you on the back?
But...
Donovan, I like to call them the bells and the whistles. Everything you see, the green screen, there's like 452 cameras here. Like literally, no, not literally, what, about 6, 7 cameras, including mine. And so he's also orchestrates the podcast, and so without him we wouldn't be able to go as far as we do go. So thank you.
Yes, and you wouldn't be as hated and viled in the community.
Thank you for that. I appreciate that. So anyway, let's go ahead and get started for the sake of time, because we have 3 topics today that we are going to be going over. The first one is this. Now, I'm not really for sure how many people are versed about the Kavanaugh situation, but I'll go ahead and read you my notes, and I'll get to every last one of you guys' comments, I promise. All right, so on Saturday, October 6th, Judge Brett Kavanaugh was confirmed as a justice to the United States Supreme Court. Before his confirmation, he faced a lot of scrutiny and backlash due to 3 women accusing him of sexual assault 32 years ago when he was, 17 years old in high school. Okay. Specifically, a woman by the name of Dr. Christine Ford testified before the Senate in regards to what she said Kavanaugh did to her 32 years ago, which she said that he sexually assaulted her along with a friend of his when they were at a high school party or something like that. Okay, from that point, the FBI got involved. They investigated to see if both Ford's and Kavanaugh's testimonies added up. So as we speak, he is now a Supreme Court justice. Now, what does the Supreme Court do? Because a lot of people really don't know. All right, so I'll just pretend like we don't know, because I know you guys know. But anyway, the Supreme Court is the highest court in the United States, and it has the final say in regards to the laws of Congress. They interpret and apply the laws of the Constitution. Also, if Congress or the president does something that is unconstitutional, the Supreme Court overrules it. It falls under judicial law. So we have 3 branches. There's judicial, legislative, and executive. Okay, so it falls under judicial law. It is said that the Supreme Court acts as a referee between the president, Congress, state, and local governments. However, Congress does have the power to create courts, and they also have the power to abolish courts. That is Congress. All right, so there are 9 Supreme Court justices. The position of a justice is a lifetime job, but they can be impeached for improper behavior. In the history of the Supreme Court, only one justice has been impeached, and that is Samuel Chase in 1804, but he was acquitted in the Senate in 1805. He was impeached for allowing his partisan feelings to impede his job as a Supreme Court justice. Now, Supreme Court justices are nominated by the president and confirmed, basically given a job, by Congress when a seat becomes vacant. They do not need to be American born, a certain age, or have a certain profession. For example, they do not have to be a lawyer or a judge prior to the nomination, although most of them are. Now, the majority of the Supreme Court justices have been Protestant white men. There have only been 2 African Americans to ever serve. Justice Thurgood Marshall in 1967, he was confirmed, and Justice Clarence Thomas Uncle Thomas, really, in 1991. Now, they receive about 7,000 to 8,000 cases per year, but they only hear about 100 of those. Now, the chosen cases are given a hearing date to be argued. The lucky ones, I guess you can say. Now, the cases that are not heard, the rulings that were rendered by the lower court stands. So basically, it's like you don't get an appeal, and whatever the state or your local court said, there it is. All right, now back to Brett Kavanaugh and black people. Some of Judge Kavanaugh's opinions in regards to some of the laws that have shaped important issues in America has gotten much criticism. From issues such as executive branch authority, agency power and government regulation, religious liberty, the Second Amendment, private and national security, net neutrality, and Roe versus Wade and abortion rights. Now, specifically in regards to abortion rights, Kavanaugh wrote that the Supreme Court has held the government has permissible interest in favoring fetal life, protecting the best interest of a minor, and refraining from facilitating abortion. And so, sounds like he's, saying that we should consider maybe abolishing abortion or changing the way it operates now, because we should regard the fetus, the unborn child. We should have more respect for that than what we do now. And I'm just paraphrasing.
Right. Who said that?
Kavanaugh. Yeah, Kavanaugh. Okay, and so that's why, if a lot of people, especially women, well, I mean, other than what's going on with the accusations, but women are like, he's going to change abortion rights and, interfering in the lives of women.
Yeah, it's funny, like a lot of the Republican conservatives, real quick, say that you find that these guys are paying for abortions from their mistresses and all this stuff, but yet they're pro-life.
Right. Well, hey, that doesn't apply to me. It only applies to you, okay?
Right.
Okay, so where did I go? All right, so he has also held that the government may further those interests, refraining from facilitating abortion. Okay, so he also he held that the government may further those interests. Oh, I read that. As long as they do not impose undue burden on a woman seeking an abortion. Okay, I don't even know what that means. Now, the fear is that he will overturn the Roe v. Wade decision that makes a woman's right to choose illegal. Okay, so I have a question for you all. For everybody here, and potentially who arrived. For everybody here, okay? Do you know the #1 cause of death of black people in America? Now, you guys can answer there.
Death by police.
Do you think it's death by police?
No, I think it's dental.
Dental? Not having dental coverage?
Yeah.
Okay, so Donovan is saying not having dental coverage.
Well, do you know that is a leading cause of death in the South? It is.
All right, but I'm talking about black people as a whole.
As a whole.
All right.
I would say health coverage.
Health coverage. You're saying health coverage. Well, would you believe it if I told you abortion?
Oh, well, okay, yeah, that's true too. Yeah, there is a Holocaust. Yeah.
So abortion is the #1 killer of black people in America. Now, it is said that, and listen to this. I want y'all to just let this all sink in, because I'm about to just drop it on you, okay?
Drop it.
I'm about to do some math here. It is said that 37% of abortions that happen in America belong to black women. Remember, black people make up about 13% of the population. It is also said that 1 in 3 babies, rather, that are conceived by black women end in abortion. Black women have abortions 5 times more than white women. Would you agree with the notion that the most dangerous place for a black child to be is in its mother's womb?
Yes.
Because that's what it said. I mean, if we're, if we're having abortions at that rate, some would say that's a pretty dangerous place to be.
Or what do they call it?
Infanticide.
Because if it's not an abortion, it's the father trying to kill the mother, and there's been all kinds of cases nationally.
Right, but just specifically in regards to abortion, okay? So that's a very high number, okay? And so why do you think that abortion in the black community is so high? Now, this is a rhetorical question at this point. All right.
Well, number one, I think it's so high is because we put that in our young daughters' heads that if they have a child before their time, it destroys their life.
Okay, that could be it. But I chose to dig a little deeper here.
Okay.
All right. Okay, and so do you think it's because black women naturally hate being mothers, or do you think it's something else? Well, it's all by design. When slavery was abolished, black people were no longer considered an asset. We were considered a liability. Also, former white slave owners were afraid that black folks would unite and do to them what they have done to their former slaves. Right. They were also afraid that blacks would start to mix with whites and decrease the white people's number because, as far as they were concerned, 1 drop of black blood made you black. So a campaign to eradicate black people from existing in America was created. At first, the Back to Africa movement, or the colonization movement, not Marcus Garvey's movement, because there was one before his, to send freed slaves back to Liberia, Africa, was being planned out by white supremacists.
And Abraham Lincoln was for it too.
It was a bunch of them. But it failed because it was too expensive and too much of an undertaking to send roughly 4 million black people back to Africa. That's how many black people were freed after slavery, roughly 4 million or so. All right. Then came the eugenics movement that was founded by Francis Galton that was aimed at getting rid of black people by labeling them feeble-minded, unfit, and criminals. And I'm getting to the end of my notes here, you guys. And criminals. Now, he believed that intelligence and talents were hereditary and that they were passed down from the parent to the child. He also believed that black people did not possess talent or intelligence. Therefore, we were unfit to be amongst white society. Now, to be fair, the eugenics movement did not just target black people, it targeted the poor or the people that were not like the wealthy or affluential whites. But eugenics largely targeted black people. It should also be noted that Galton was the cousin of Charles Darwin, who believed in evolution and the survival of the fittest. So together, their ideologies created the eugenics movement. All right, I'm moving right along here. So, and I said that too on my notes, moving right along. Anyone ever heard of a lady by the name of Margaret Sanger?
Yes.
Well, we talk about Margaret Sanger quite a bit on this show. All right, well, she was employed to help carry out the mission of getting rid of black people by way of the black mother's womb. She likened black people to human weeds, reckless breeders, spawning human beings who should never have been born. Now, remember, this was Hillary Clinton's girl, was also the woman who awarded Martin Luther King the award from the Margaret Sanger Foundation of Planned Parenthood, or whatever it was, and he considered that to be his most prized possession. I'm just throwing that out there. Okay. Now, in turn, she created Planned Parenthood, an organization that is devoted to helping women manage their reproductive issues by way of birth control and abortion. Now, roughly 79% of Black Parenthood clinics are, 79% of Planned Parenthood clinics are in the Black and Hispanic neighborhoods. So far, it is said that more black babies have been aborted than people associated with the Vietnam War. So that's Americans, Vietnamese, and everybody else who was associated with fatalities due to the Vietnam War. All right? Now, if you're curious as to what that number is, it's roughly 3 million black babies. Okay? Now, even though black men are disproportionately disproportionately killed by the police to the tune of 24% in regards to everyone else, that still does not top the abortion rate of black babies. Right now, there are about 42 million black people in America. If my math serves me right, 1.2% of the black population has succumbed to abortion. Now, that number might not seem high, but when we're talking about humans, it is. Okay?
Wake up.
In closing, the Black Lives Matter movement that allegedly advocates for the lives of black people are founded and operated by black feminists and lesbians. Okay? Obal Tamati, is a transitional feminist who focuses on feminism on a global level. So that's what a transitional feminist is. They don't just worry about, let's say, white women. They worry about all women and other parts of the world. And so this is what the founder of the Black Lives Movement is. Now, I don't know if she's lesbian or not, but Patrice Kahn Colors is a lesbian. That's the other co-founder. And so is Alicia Garza. They are self-proclaimed feminists and lesbians. All right. Typically, lesbians and feminists believe in a woman's right to choose. So what's a woman's right to choose? That's the advocacy of abortion if necessary.
Sure.
Okay, or whatever necessary
regardless
is deemed
what the father
to.
says.
Right, okay, so the organization has come under scrutiny because while they protest the wholesale murder of blacks by the hands of police, they do not protest the murder of black babies from the wombs of black mothers. So let's do the math, shall we? If Brett Kavanaugh will potentially end or change the abortion laws in favor of pro-life, pro-black life, if you really want to think about it, why are we as black people in opposition to his nomination?
Because other than the allegations presented by Dr. Ford and two other women when he was nominated that have not been substantiated. So what I'm saying is, although these women, and I'm not saying it didn't happen or it did, but although these women leveled these allegations against Brett Kavanaugh, it has not been substantiated, whether the FBI is in on the fix or whatever. They said there's nothing here. And they nominated or are confirmed to do it as of yesterday. And quickly sworn in.
Whether we like it or not, those are the facts.
It's a done deal.
So, again, why are we against the nomination? After all I just said, and it took me,
15 minutes.
15 minutes, which is kind of a long time.
No, that's the Rachel Maddow.
Really?
Yeah.
Why are we against the nomination of Brett Kavanaugh after everything that I just said, especially in regards to abortion? All right, so let's see what we got here. Let's see what we got.
Wake up.
All right. So let's see. Oh my goodness. All right. So Tay says, "Hey D&D, hey Asada, hey Ed, hey Yina." He said, "Happy, hey you guys, happy Sunday to you too." Kumar gives a thumbs up. Ed says the founding fathers did not want to be a democracy. The Supreme Court will never be the same. What a sham. And he also said white supremacy run amok. Dylan Bryant, Congress is trying to protect. I've given up on this country. I'm just here trying to make it. I think that's true for all of us. Guns killing each other. What? Really? And I think you are, Cecilia, you were referring to some of my statistics on abortion in the black community. Tay says the sad part is that the health coverage that provides birth control isn't widely available for low-income folks. Now, see, that I didn't know. I thought you could just go into like a Planned Parenthood and, I don't know, do your thing.
They keep cutting that funding.
Okay. Yeah, because I do know that eventually the government wants to take the funding from Planned Parenthood because it's a Republican-run government right now, and they don't believe in that being the family values and all that. And hey, Rodney, you giving a thumbs up. And Tay says, also, we don't really speak to our children about sex and the repercussions of having sex. And we're going to get to that point in just a second. Hey, Tony and Holland, what's happening? You say, what's up, Demetra? And Terry says, thank you for this podcast, family. It is our pleasure. Holly says, what's up, Asada? They homies. Hey, Tracy. And Jesse, give a thumbs up. Asada says, hey, bro, DeMello Holland. And Ed says, I'm against Kavanaugh being confirmed because, hey, I'm sick and tired of certain people getting everything they want. Dude is grimy. He is hiding something. Just don't know what. Just another, let's see. Just another Coggin in the white supremacy wheel. Okay, I got it. Additionally, why does rules apply to some people? Demetra K, please start off with this until I get out of my meeting. Okay, so let me finish the rest of the comments. Hey, Charlie said, it's not even about the allegations. Blacks don't want him because Trump put him on. Well, Trump and him are friends. They were friends, I guess, for a while, and normally that's what they say.
Sexual abusers being friends.
Just per my research, they say that most times when a president nominates the...
there's a
connection. They're friends, is what it said. So it's not, unusual there. It's not like it says, I'm looking for a Supreme Court justice. And
who's going to vote against me?
It was his friend. So that's why Trump put him on. In addition, Kavanaugh, in regards to the executive something, Kavanaugh doesn't believe that in some regards the president should be investigated or subpoenaed.
Right.
And so if that's Trump's friend and Trump is under all these investigations and trials and all this stuff, of course he wants
somebody. How is he going to vote?
Yeah.
If the Democrats take the House, how do you think this guy's going to vote when
Absolutely.
it comes down to it?
I mean, it's what do they say? It's chess, not checkers?
Yes. Yeah.
So, and then Tracy says, I just got on. What are we talking? We are talking about Kavanaugh and black community and abortion. And then Charles said, by the way, peace and power to you as well. Terry says, I got to go to sleep. I ate ice cream, Snicker bar, ice cream sandwich, and cookies. So I got to hit them weights hard. Lord have mercy. You know what? It's cheat day.
Yeah,
I did that yesterday.
Hey, the Dallas Cowboys are playing against the Texans. Just, sit in your seat and get ready.
We don't talk football on this show.
Sorry.
I mean, But I do appreciate you being here instead. Oh, well, you got time for the game. Come on. You got time to coon. In Holland, you say that the Republicans are putting it all together. They are setting up the trap. And Jesse, you said we need to separate ourselves from the system. It isn't going to get any better at this point. I'm so glad somebody said that, because that's really where the issue is. And Dr. Claude Anderson talks about that a lot, in that why are we concerning ourselves with things that were never for us? Mm-hmm. You got to think about the Supreme Court has always ruled against black people. Every last single thing, whether we were 3/4 human, whether it was for voting, to help the South and the North have equal voting representation. The Supreme Court has never been for black people. And so here we are in 2018, still disappointed that the Supreme Court is not for black people. Well, how about if we were to organize and have our own political party, have all of our money most of our money stay in our community instead of giving all of it away? I mean, what about that concept? Well, what a concept.
Black unity never happened.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, but we can't expect for the oppressor to do for us what we should be doing for ourselves, and that's unfortunately what the Democratic Party has done to us. They have made it to where we are just so dependent upon every little thing they do and say. So good point, Jesse. And Asada, you say, I'm against all Trumpsters.
Right on.
And rightfully so. I just, me typically, I don't really have a dog in the fight, because I am on the page of Dr. Claude Anderson. And no matter who is in office, none of them.
It doesn't affect
it doesn't affect us, and none of them, nobody, including our beloved first black president. No, I ain't talking about Obama. I'm talking about Clinton. He didn't have our best interest at heart either. In fact, things got worse under his presidency for black people. So,
and the bipartisanship in Congress got worse during that time.
Right. And so, and then Jesse, you say yes. Hey, Arson, you say, hey guys, thank you for your weekly news. I have nothing to say as I missed part of the beginning, but I love you too and your work for us. When I have no clue what to think about a matter, I know. Let's see. I know the best way to think is like Demetra and Donovan. Keep up the good work. That's on a good day, because on a bad day, you don't want to think like me.
Well, stay tuned for part 2, because we're going to talk about...
We're going to talk about Kanye, which I talked about it once before.
No, not Kanye. We're going to talk about what we saw in that barbershop.
Oh, yeah. Don't let me forget.
I won't let you forget.
All right. But thank you, Arson. And Eddie says, our own party not going to happen. And Hollis says, exactly. Well, Ed, why aren't we going to get our own party? Why? Let me ask you this, because I assume... Well, I shouldn't assume, but I know for a fact that the majority of black people are Democrats. Why are we so beholden to the Democrat Party when the Democrat Party... Listen, I'm not going to go Republican. I'm not saying that either. But I'm saying specifically because we are Democrats, why are we so beholden to the Democratic Party?
Because they give us stuff. I get a free housing. I get a vouchers. I get free food stamps. They give us stuff. That's why. And all we got to do is kick our man out of the house, break up the black family. That's why. Oh, free healthcare, free this, free that. That's why.
But does everybody get that for the most part?
Not
I mean,
everybody.
it's not just exclusive to black people.
No, not everybody, because if you're a black man, you don't get shit.
Right, okay. And Holland says, but unfortunately, you will keep repeating what we don't support, why we don't support black economics, because some black/brown people just don't get it. They don't get it, and they don't want to get it, because there's a lot of people out there kicking knowledge and information, but some people just, they don't want to. It's easier to see, listen, it's easier to, because see, I think not just black people, but people in general, but specifically since we're talking about black people, it's easy for us to fall victim of the appeal to authority. And so who is the authority in this case? Usually it's the white media that tells us who black people are and who black people should be listening to.
They
and
control
so
our image.
right, so we're prone to listen to sound bites than we are to say, you know what?
Listening to logic.
Yeah, let me go get some logic and listen to it, or somebody saying something different. Well, let me investigate and see if that's true. We just go with sound bites. But I agree with you. And Jesse says, see, the problem is that they print the money, and as long as they do that, we will always have the power. They will always have the power. That is a trap. Yeah, I mean, money, makes the world go round. My brother always says, people who always say money is the root of all evil are people who don't have it. Or the love of money is the root of all evil, or money is bad, are the people who don't have it.
Another thing your brother said that we talked about before we went on air. Could you share that with what your brother had said about the dollar and how?
What did I say?
No. Remember we were talking about how the gas pump and the if you pump the dollar.
Yeah. I was talking to him. Because again, we were talking about how people go off of sound bites and stuff of the television and things like that. So I use the example of gas. So when you hear the news talking about, oh, gas is going up again, and then gas ends up being 10 more cents a gallon, most of us will gripe about the gas going up 10 cents a gallon. But if you do the math and you break it down, you say, okay, well, how much gas do you usually get at the pump? Oh, I usually get 10 gallons. So what you're telling me is you're busting an artery over $1 worth or more of gas. You know what I mean? But he also said people who have the money or not strapped for cash, they don't worry about that kind of stuff. They just go to the pump.
Right.
But even the people who are not uber rich, it's $1. Really, it's $1 more, but we're preconditioned. Oh, that's terrible. And I know $1 adds up, but I'm just saying. We don't think past what we're being told a lot. And then Holly said, exactly. He also said, I agree with him. Not you, somebody else. I'm just
sorry. Oh, man.
And Charlie says, Kanye is right on the 13th Amendment. We're going to get into that.
Yeah,
and Jesse says, they are both parties of the same people. Absolutely.
Yes. That's what I say all the time. All the time.
And Tate says, people need to realize that both parties aren't for us. Republicans hate us, and the Dems hate us as well. Yeah, they use us. Yeah, I mean,
they use us,
and so that's why I'm like, to me, I used to be a Democrat. I'd be sitting up here lying, so I was always conscious.
I used to be a Republican and a Democrat.
I mean, but when you wake up, it's like, okay, well, why?
And the reason I'm not a Republican anymore because I didn't have enough money.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
you a lie.
So they kicked
we know
me out.
That's a lie.
They kicked me out.
But I mean, you to your point, none of them are for us. They'll use us as long as we'll vote for them. And then after that, it's like black people, what's that?
Right. The ends.
The inmates that are filling the prisons.
Exactly. The ends justify the means.
Right.
Simple as that.
And Holly said exactly, hey, Ustinov, how are you today?
Yes, Mr. Ustinov.
I want to extend my condolences to you. And I'm going to leave it at that because me and you both, know what's going on. So I'm going to stick my condolences to you. I can never imagine. So I pray that you are comforted and you eventually feel, a little better.
Yes, okay. Glad to have you back.
Charles says the Dems actually messed us over on housing. Fannie and Freddie hurt us and helped bring about the recession of 2008.
Yes, one of the biggest groups that was affected by that recession was black and brown people. Your first-time home buyers, all these people just got destroyed.
Well, why is that? That's because we bought those with subprime loans.
Yeah, exactly. I worked at Taco Bell and I won a $350,000 house, but I'm making $9 an hour.
Yeah, and that's what happened under the stated loans. And then also we got, bless you, We got the highest interest rates and
and balloon payments.
Yeah, the balloon payments and stuff. And to your point, well, shoot, and that's kind of our fault too,
Yes.
because we don't, and not just black people, but just people in general, we don't know when to say, let's not spend more than I make.
Right. There is no shortcut to the American dream. There just
Yeah,
isn't.
if you working at Taco Bell, why are you looking at it, unless you like the CEO or like the big wig at Taco Bell, why are you looking at a $300,000-$400,000 house?
Right.
I mean, get what you can afford, and then when you do better, you go get a bigger house.
I want my kids to get out of the ghetto and give them a house and be safe.
Well, you can do all of that.
Right.
You just ain't
It just
got to
takes
get
time.
a
It just takes
mansion.
time. Right. It just takes time.
And you
unfortunately-
part-time at Taco Bell. I
Right.
mean, that doesn't, that's not good math.
Yeah. But again, we want it now.
And so, let's see, and Houston said the black community is conditioned and under war with itself as far as now. Fighting the battle is useless. No, absolutely. I mean, that's why I don't understand, when are we going to understand that a lot of this is just a distraction. It's a distraction. Like, why are we getting caught up in what Kavanaugh, like most of us never even heard of the man until 2 months ago.
Well, let's even go deeper than that. How many of us can even recite 4 of the justices that are sitting there right now?
Well, I could.
Well, I'm just saying in general,
right? I mean,
we're not involved.
Right, and that's why I felt like, and I know I'm not speaking to you guys,
Yeah.
but a lot of people don't know what the Supreme Court does or who's on there, what they do. And they do have a lot of power. They're not the all powerful, but they are pretty close to it.
Well, what it is they don't have a lot of power. They are an equal branch of government.
Right.
They are there to check the other two,
Absolutely.
and vice versa are supposed to do it.
Right.
There's a failure in Congress right now because when you have one party that controls the whole Congress.
And what party controls the Supreme Court now?
The Republicans.
Right, so
they
who gonna
control.
check me, boy?
Right, yeah. So they control all 3 parts of government.
Right.
And when they don't want to, when they put party over country, there's a problem. And
Y'all hear that? The Republicans control the legislation rather. I think that's what I'm trying to say. They control the judicial branch. Oh, my tongue is tied. And the executive branch. We got Trump, the Republicans in Congress, and Republicans at the Supreme Court.
And here's the caveat. Do you think it really matters? It's the ruling party.
Of course.
Yeah, it doesn't really
That's
matter.
why I'm saying that. Why are we mad? Okay, check it out, y'all. Check it out. Let's just do the math here. Why are we mad that rich, powerful, old white men put another white man who thinks like them in power? Are we really shocked?
Right. 96% of your congressional members are millionaires. Obama was the lowest of the millionaires as a senator.
I don't even think he was a millionaire when he was
he wasn't even up there, but he was close, but he wasn't there.
Right, but he's balling now.
Yeah, he's balling now.
Right.
But so like you said, let's do the math.
Right. All right. And so let's see. And Yusinovi says, thanks, guys. Appreciate it. It's our pleasure. And Tay says, but that goes back to black folks being materialistic. We focus on getting rich quick versus working to earn overtime. I didn't mean to laugh at that.
Yeah.
The reason why I laughed, Tay, is because when you said, when you mentioned the get rich quick stuff, it just reminds me of people I see on my timeline with these big, extravagant, revolutionary, get rich quick money.
Right.
It's like...
Right. We need to stick together, sister. Come on. I need you to donate or come on out.
Or if you don't go along with it, I thought you was my friend. Nobody. It's
Right.
like, because that's almost because it's too good to be true.
Right. And if it's too good to be true,
All it takes is for 5 minutes for me to talk to 5 of my friends, and then I'm going to get $500.
the pyramid.
Why do you have any vacancies left if it was all of that?
Exactly.
I mean, I just how I think. But yeah, you're right. Let's just do the work, Arsenal says, sometimes the most effective changes can happen with the most basic adjustments. Something Donald Trump said before being elected, which was terribly true, and that I heard you all mention was, let's see, that you all mentioned was black people. What do you have to lose by voting for me? I mean, what have the Democrats ever done for you? We as people need to quit being so emotional. I think you were in here. You got the studio bug because me and Donovan were just talking about that right before we came on. He says, stop being so emotional and think about stuff rationally. I know Trump is looked at as the devil, but the devil made a point. One, he's right. What do we have to lose? Like, what?
I mean, what could he? And this is gonna sound jacked up, but what more can he jack up than
Right.
than the Democratic Party has in regards to black people?
Well, what's that old saying? When you're at the bottom, the only way to go is up.
Right. If that's, I don't know if that's gonna go up, but
you can't go any. If you're at the, you can't go any lower.
But a lot of people have made the point, and I've heard Farrakhan say it, I've heard you say it, my father said it, and I'm going to use your phrase, but, Donald Trump is going to make the hood great again.
He is.
Because it's going to force black people like this
to be, and get back to the greatness that we
yes,
once
it's going to force us to come together. Like right now, we don't like each other. I mean, I think that's a fair statement. For the most part, we don't like each other. Just based off of some of the things that we do and say to each other, out of, as Arson said, being emotional a lot of times. Also, in regards to, well, you don't agree with me, and so I'm going to tear you down. If you're not on the same page with me, then I'm going to, hate you and all this other nonsense. And so I don't see any more comments, but I'll move on to our next topic. And I really don't want to. Because I know where this is probably gonna go, but I'll go there. I ate my Wheaties today. I'll go there.
Hey, look, we're like Phil. We're trying to give a common sense approach.
Right. We try. Okay, so we're gonna talk about Kanye, and I'll get to you guys' other questions if I see them. All right. So on Tuesday, we actually did cover the Kanye thing, but
yes, and go to Demetra K's YouTube channel, and you're gonna see the whole.
Before you guys who did not see the video that we posted, I'm going to just go over it really quick, and so we can argue or discuss this rather. All right. So, Kanye West, now known as Ye, he has changed his name to Ye, Y-E, has found himself in the spotlight again for speaking on the subject of slavery. In a tweet a few days ago, he said the following: "This represents good and America becoming whole again. We will no longer outsource to other countries. We build factories here in America and create jobs. We will provide jobs for all who are free from prisons as we abolish the 13th Amendment." I froze up here a little bit. Somebody must be calling me or something.
There you go.
Am I back?
You're back.
I'm back.
You're back.
I think somebody's trying to call me or something.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, got it. All right, so let me back it up just one more time, because I didn't even see if I froze or not, or how long before I froze. Okay, all right, here we go. Start over. So Kanye West, known as Ye, has found himself in the spotlight again for speaking on the subject of slavery. In a tweet a few days ago, he said the following: "This represents good in America becoming whole again. We will no longer outsource to other countries. We build factories here in America and create jobs. We will provide jobs for all who are free from prisons, as well as abolish the 13th Amendment." Now, that's a quote from his tweet. Most of us who are fairly knowledgeable knows that the 13th Amendment abolishes the institution of slavery. The 13th Amendment to the Constitution abolished slavery and involuntary servitude except as punishment of a crime. Now, so it would seem that Kanye was saying that we need to reinstate slavery, for a lack of better words, which is why everyone was up in arms about his tweet, and it's understandable. Especially since he's had been on his own personal campaign tour for Donald Trump by ranting about him wearing the Make America Great Again hat, MAGA hat, M-A-G-A. In fact, while on SNL, he said that the cast tried to bully him into taking the hat off. He refused and wore it anyway. Okay? D.L. Hughley, the radio host and comedian, was very upset at what Kanye had to say and about his love for Trump. However, Kanye went on to clarify his statements. He later tweeted, "Not abolish but amend," quote unquote. He also said the 13th Amendment is slavery in disguise, meaning it never ended. We are the solution that heals. That was also a quote. Kanye went on TMZ with Harvey Levin to further explain his statement. He basically said that the 13th Amendment needs to be amended to address the portion that says except as a punishment for a crime. That's the last part of the 13th Amendment, right? Kanye said that prison is the new slavery because, quote, all you have to do is make a freed man a slave.
To make a free man a slave is to convict him of a crime, and that prisoners are very underpaid, getting about 8 cents a week for working for private companies. We know that prisons nowadays are privatized, and they have investors attached to it, and so investors make money off of the bodies. In fact, the investors of prison systems, the private prison systems, are guaranteed a 90% occupancy rate.
Yes.
And so how do you guarantee, if any of those who have even done a little bit of investing know that you are guaranteed, depending on what investment it is, you're guaranteed a return on your investment,
that's
right?
That's the best stock to have. And guess who funded Hillary Clinton's campaign? And she has a lot of stock in the private prison system.
Go on to tell us.
Hillary Clinton and the Clintons.
The Clinton Foundation.
Yes.
Okay, and so if you guarantee somebody a 90% occupancy rate, that means you're giving them a return on their investment.
They can't lose. They can't lose.
They can lose if they would not arrest or disproportionately arrest black people for nonsense, and instead of giving them a slap on the wrist, they're giving them these lengthy prison sentences that would normally warrant about maybe 30 days or a year, but now they're getting long prison systems.
And let's take away the black out of that. How many of you guys remember a few years ago in Pennsylvania, that judge that was sentencing young white kids, right?
No, not young white kids, young black kids.
No, but he had some white kids in there too.
Yeah, but the youngest, they said black child was about 10 years old, and he made about $2 million for doing that.
But the only reason that made news is because the white kids were getting...
Oh, yeah, well,
that's
absolutely.
when
He got off the chain. He should have
$2 million.
Right. All right, and so... where else did I go? Okay, so Kanye also made a point by saying that most prisoners are in prison due to bad circumstances and preconditioned situations.
Yes.
Is he telling the truth? He's telling the truth, but okay, because I know somebody's probably like, you lost your mind. All right, now he read from a pre-prepared statement from a friend of his. Now, Michelle Alexander, an educator and author, wrote a masterpiece called The New Jim Crow Era that addressed the 13th Amendment and all the things that Kanye talked about. Okay? For example, the convict leasing program that was used in the Jim Crow era right after slavery to imprison free black people, mostly free black men, for the benefit of companies outside of prison. Well, they're doing that now to some degree, except for it's in prison. They say a lot of companies, AT&T and other companies, are using the labor of black people, but prisoners that are in prison and not paying them really anything.
Yeah, you don't have to pay them major wages or benefits.
Right, and so the Netflix documentary 13th by Ava DuVernay addressed the same issues that Kanye talked about. My opinion, I believe he misspoke when he said abolish instead of amend. So, as I said on the last time we did this, I asked of thee, where was the lie in what Kanye said? Well, where was the lie? If we really think about what I just said, how did Kanye lie when he made that statement? All right, and so let me, comments. And Tay says, but these are the same people with a GoFundMe when someone passes. And then, you talking about the people who are irresponsible and, with their money and stuff? No, absolutely. And, as we say all the time, GoFundMe is not a life insurance policy. Contrary to what people believe. I mean, I always ask people, how many car washes does it take to have a funeral? Well, it's like how many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop? Who knows? It's one day, you might have a millionaire come by and say, oh, you poor unfortunate soul, there's a funeral. Here, I'm going to pay you for it. You might. And you might, lick the Tootsie Pop once and bite it because it's so good. Or you might have to be out there for weekends on weekends on weekends on weekends.
Your loved one is on a slab.
Your loved one is on a cold slab. The most city morgues or coroners can only keep the body for 30 days. And after that, they're going to cremate that body because you were too lazy, too irresponsible, and financially, I'll leave it at that, to go spend a couple bucks on a life insurance policy that would at least bury your loved one. I ain't saying to make you rich, but at least put them in the ground.
Wait. You got money for weed, you got money for beer, you got money for cigarettes, you got all this money all week. You got to have this stuff, but you can't take $2.
Well, that's the whole buy what you want and beg for what you need mentality. And unfortunately, and this is not me being, stupid or stereotypical about black people. Podcast will be right back. But in our community, we're not producers. We are consumers. We spend almost every dime we get. It's just a fact. We spend almost every dime we get, and so that's the kind of mentality we have. We buy what we want. What do we want? We want Jordans. We want weaves. We want, flat screen TVs. We want nails. We don't want the stuff that makes us look important, but we need, a decent neighborhood, a nice house to live in. We need good running water. We need life insurance. We need all those things, but we beg for those things because we fall short due to buying the stuff that we need. And so, hey, Jonelle, what's happening? I'm so happy to see you here, because when we don't see you here, we think maybe you've gotten in the clink, Facebook clink.
I've been in there a couple times. I haven't seen him yet. But
yeah, y'all haven't bumped into each other in there?
Yeah. I'll see you in processing,
well, maybe
brother.
you're in protective custody
Right.
and he's not, or something. I don't know. And so I'll wait for you guys to respond, because admittedly, I posted about that. I think it was Tuesday. And people are still talking about it. How can I agree with that? Kanye, meant to say it, and somebody even called me an in the closet Trump supporter, and I had to eat her lunch because she don't know me.
Right.
But,
and please, you guys, go to the YouTube and check it out, because at the beginning of the YouTube, Kanye's in the TMZ interview explaining what had gone on, and then you also get to see the unaired Saturday Night Live clip.
Right, that you included. And Tay, you say, I don't think Kanye was wrong. He made a very valid point. People hear what they want to hear and cancel folks out. I don't always agree with Kanye in this instance, but he's spot on. And me and you share the same ideology when it comes to Kanye in that. I don't always agree with Kanye either, but I was like, to your point, we got to get away from following the sound bites out of emotions. Yeah, Kanye said some pretty asinine things about slavery in the past. He said slavery was a choice, which I wholeheartedly disagree with. But I made this point to the lady who came on my post trying to, subjugate me for whatever reason. I'm like, okay, let's think about this. Kanye is a black man, okay? Field black. If there was slavery was going to be reinstated, he would be in the field. Regardless of who he is in society right now, he's a black man with black children. Regardless of who he's married to, his children are black. Why would this man want to reinstate slavery that will ultimately harm himself and his children? That doesn't make any sense. Mm-hmm. So that's why I believe that he misspoke. I mean, unless he doesn't see himself as black, that's the only thing I can think of. But for somebody to say, we need to abolish the 13th Amendment, basically we need to abolish slavery, that's stupid. Not to call anybody who believes he said that's stupid, but I just like to make sense of things. That doesn't make any sense to me. That he would want to get rid of slavery. The 13th Amendment and reinstate. Can somebody help that make sense to me? I don't see any more comments, and so I'll wait for your comments. But while I wait to your comments, yesterday, Al sent me a video somewhere in Philadelphia. Now, this is gonna sound really it's mind blowing.
It is.
This video.
We've been exposed, brothers. We've been exposed.
This video featured fully grown. When I say fully grown,
Uncle Remus.
I didn't say Uncle Remus.
Well,
I said fully
Uncle
grown.
Remus. I said
Men
Uncle
that's
Remus.
roughly around my father's age, give or take. My dad's in his 70s.
Heads.
Were in a barber shop that's owned and operated by Asians that were getting their hair faded. Okay, now these Asians set up shop in the black community, and a friend of mine who lives in the area said that barbershop is in the hood.
We're talking about a rough area.
He said it's in the hood, rough area, a part of town, and so I was like, that's even more gangster. That these Asians went into the rough side of town, if that's what they're calling it, and set up a black barbershop.
Because they know one thing blacks are going to do, is, especially men, we're going to get our hair cut.
But how y'all talking about us, the sisters sitting up in the nail shops and stuff, and y'all sitting up in a black barber shop? I'm sure in every neighborhood, there's at least 2 barber shops, black owned, that you can go to. Mm-hmm. And so what, the Asians set up in your neighborhood, now you're going to go give them all your money? And then the guy who was recording it was like, wow.
Right. I need a job. He came.
Can y'all hire a brother? I've been a barber for 27 years. You got an empty chair. And the dude was like, no. You know, basically we're all full here, and they're laughing at him.
Mm-hmm.
And so it sounds like he knew some of the guys that were in the barbershop, and he called him Ernest or Earl or something. He said, dang, Ernest, that's how you going out like that?
Yep.
You gonna give these Asians your money? And
Yep.
you know, instead of to the black people, he said, yep.
That's right.
I was flabbergasted. Like, damn, they getting the brothers' money too?
Yeah, look, I was mad because it exposes us, brother. Because here we are being so hard on these sisters, and we're not leading by example.
Yeah, y'all talk, man. Let y'all walk by a nail shop and see some black women in there getting their nails done by Asian women. Y'all gonna pull off your toupee. But there's a shop full of brothers sitting in there getting their hair faded.
Right.
And the dude, they laughing at this brother. And the black dude's just sitting up there. Yep. Yep, I'm giving my money to them.
Mm-hmm.
No shame in the game. And so the dude was like, well, golly.
And you know, and the sad thing was, he's right there, and the Asians are telling him, we're not going to hire any black folks.
We're not hiring no black people.
You should have got your black ass up off of that chair and walked out.
You know why? Because I don't know what the prices are in that barbershop, but I guarantee you they're probably a little bit cheaper than, you know, Brother Man barbershop down the street, and that's how they get us. Because when you go to the Asian nail shops, you can get a full set. I don't know what a full set is now, but back in the day, it was $17.99 for a full set of nails. But, you know, if you go in the black shop, it probably costs a little bit more, but people don't understand why. It's because there's less black people going to the black businesses. The Asian shit, they run circles around us because sometimes they got 3 and 4 nail shops on one block. You know, one stretch of a boulevard.
And they're all related. So the money is centralized.
That's what you're supposed to do. But they set up a barbershop in a black neighborhood. I said, oh, my God. That is like that to me is beyond gangster. Just like what y'all gonna do?
And they were laughing.
Yeah, them setting up a barbershop in a black neighborhood cutting black men's hair said, what y'all gonna do? Y'all ain't gonna do a damn thing.
You ain't gonna bust a grape.
Y'all ain't gonna bust a grape. We wish y'all would. That's pretty much what they said by setting up shop in the black neighborhood. Well, I was it floored me. But anyway. Hey, Al, you says at the game, but you are more important.
What? Man, you better be watching your team because the Cowboys going to get that ass tonight.
We ain't talking about football.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Al, they going to get your ass tonight.
Tay says, let me tell you, the best hairstylist I ever had was a Korean woman. I was in Seoul, though. Seoul, Korea.
Oh, it was in Korea,
Asians are moving into the hood knowing that black folks will pay for a cheap quality cut. Like, do we not have any loyalty? Just any.
Tay, you know, and don't get me wrong, you know, they are skilled and they do what they do. But the point is, though, number one, they know they ain't going to get their ass whipped. And then even if they do get an altercation, they can treat you like shit and we'll come back for more.
But why? Why? I just don't get it. I mean, I get it. Like black women, we into our hair. You know, we are. Most women are into their hair.
You can do your hair.
Unless you like me, where you kind of going bald. I don't know why I'm going bald.
You ain't going bald. What you talking about? All that hair you got in your family, shit.
I don't understand the men though.
We've been exposed, brothers. Now we got to look. Now we can't say nothing.
I don't want to be a negative, but is it safe to say maybe we're doomed? I mean, no. I don't know. Until you said full set, full set will run you $30. I went on a mission to find a black nail tech and paid a little more, but it was worth it. Yeah, because it's worth it to keep the money in our community. Together we are better. Eventually we will be able to have 2 and 3 nail shops on the same corner.
Right now, you are saying though, you know, pay a little bit more if the service is good.
Romel.
But we're not saying don't pay more if the service is terrible.
Yeah, because
I mean, keep the money there, but you might not want to tip. But
you let the Asians set up a barber shop in the hood, in the black community.
Oh, is that Romel?
Yes.
I haven't seen him since back in the day.
And it had almost every chair was full.
Yes. Very, very sad. Very sad.
Yeah, but Romeo says, I don't wear no man piece of hair.
Hey,
you
brother.
got a lot of hair, Romeo.
Yeah,
you
hey,
don't
brother.
need to, but you should give me some.
Yeah, out here in the desert, it's too hot to have all that on your head, man.
Okay.
I had to let mine go.
Was it by choice or you had to?
Oh, I had to. I got my father's hairline.
Okay. All right. So, Arson, you said, who cares? Who blames whom? The fact is that both black men and women are wrong. I cannot believe how shameless we have become. I don't call the Asians gangster. I call the brothers stupid.
Go ahead, brother.
Let's see. Oops. I call the brothers stupid. They, the very fact that they set up shop there is because they knew they would have a clientele when they would think that they could come. They could not have any clientele. Why are we this way?
Okay.
Well, I say that the reason why I say that they're gangster, and you're right, it's a combination of they can be so gangster because they have black people down to a science in that what they gonna do.
Exactly.
They ain't gonna do nothing but make some YouTube videos, and they gonna come in here with a video, and then that's gonna be it. And we gonna take all the mom and pop staple barbershops in the community. We're gonna take all their business.
Yeah, take all the bit because wait, what is the average price for a haircut?
My nephew was saying about $30 because he gets his beard and
he gets the beard and stuff like that done.
Yeah.
Now, right 2 blocks over from where we're at right now, there is a Vietnamese guy named John's Barbershop. You can get your hair cut for $9.
See what I'm saying? How can you compete with that? Because there's more of them. They can like, yeah, we cut these Negroes' hair for $9 and we paid them up.
Yeah, he does all that stuff for $9.
We know because they don't really have no loyalty like that.
Yeah, and I think $3 they'll do your beard.
They'll go spend all their money with other people, but when it comes to paying their people quality prices, they go, that shit, that's too high.
See, that's exactly why. Look, I can't afford to do the $30 cut. I can't, but I'm not giving my money to the Asian guy. So guess what? I'll just go out ball and nobody gets nothing.
I feel you. No, but I mean that's how we think though.
Right.
I got that shit too. That's too high. The shit. He want $30.
Yeah.
But you just went and gave the Indians.
Yeah.
You know, $100 for you and your boo thing to sit down there to an Indian cuisine. But you won't pay brother man $25 or so to get your hair cut. I mean,
Well, I was so lacking, it didn't make sense to be charged $30 for the little squiggle I had.
He would charge you about 50 cents to go, you're done. And Romel says, laugh out loud, gotta get it one day, maybe when I renew my 25th anniversary next year. Well, hey, you know. Dang, 25 years, Romel, gosh. You ain't but 27.
I know, starting early, brother.
You for 25 years.
Oh,
man.
That's a blessing.
I always say this. Romel was one of the first people I met when I moved to River Tucky.
God.
Was it like 1983, 84 or something like that?
Yeah, me and Romel, we just had government class together.
I heard about that government class.
Yeah, that's the only time you saw me at Northern
Was Walter in that class
Yes,
too?
he was.
I heard about that class. I heard
That's
about
right.
y'all, how y'all did. I can't think of that lady name, but that lady, I think she quit teaching after that year.
She did. But it wasn't because of us, though.
That ain't what I heard.
No, that ain't because of us.
That ain't what I heard. So anyway, yeah, I just thought I would share that with you guys. To me, that was just like, I was almost devastated a little bit. Like, all right, we know the sisters are going through some things with, pulling ourselves away from the Asian beauty supplies and the nail shops. But what is the brothers' point? Like, golly.
I was so ashamed when I saw that video. Yes, I mean, look.
Suck me up.
I don't get any. I was surfing YouTube on my TV. And, I sometimes check on Dee's channel on YouTube, Demetra K. And I saw the video and I saw it. Look, it was late at night. I called this chick. I was like, oh, my Lord, my Lord.
It is what the truth is what you see.
Wow.
Okay. Hey, Jonelle, you say they know we are asleep and have been made mentally dead by 400 years of conditioning to look to others for our needs. We are bred to be consumers and wait on Jesus. We run from math, from cause and effect. We believe in ghosts to do for us and white people, so we vote. Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
man, break it down, brother.
It's just.
But here's my thing though. Okay, you're woke. Jontel's woke. A lot of your
Jonelle.
Oh, Jonelle. I'm sorry. A lot of your viewers are woke.
I thought we was woke, but now we got the men going.
No. But and I don't understand this too. I got relatives, whatever. I got nieces and you're saying, okay, boom, 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 do this, and then they just go totally left, and you're like, okay, wait a minute.
But to his point, though, I mean, we just been conditioned to have everybody else do for us
Yeah.
what we can't do for ourselves. And
And-
that's kind of what I thought about the whole Kavanaugh thing. What is he going to do for us or not, or do to us that hasn't already been done? I mean,
Right.
gosh. And the only thing I can think of he can do is just knock on the door and shoot us and be like, next.
You know, and it was funny because Saturday, you know, I went, you know, watching CNN and looking at some clips of, you know, seeing the uproar that was supposed to happen, and all these white women are out there, you know, which is cool. And I saw a few sisters in there, you know, and I had to shake my head because I'm like, they don't get it. You know, here you are protesting for this situation, but
you got black babies being aborted to the tune of more than people killed in the Vietnam War.
Or that alert you put out about the policeman that got convicted.
Yeah, which
for
we're going to
killing.
talk about in just a few seconds.
You don't see no black people protesting our situations.
Well,
But
we'll get to that.
But we're protesting theirs. We're
Right. Arson says, then in that case, we need a black mafia to target any black people who spends outside and about. The prices being lower, still not enough because other communities would prefer dealing with theirs. Dealing with theirs before dealing with us, even if they could save money. It is because we are too price conscious, only when it comes to us, though. I don't think our generation will be changing. We just have to make sure that we teach our children to put our people first. Absolutely. It is going to start with the babies.
Right. Now,
Our children, plain and simple. I think us up.
Yeah, no, we're done.
Maybe.
I agree with you wholeheartedly, but you also got to take into the fact that
Miss Roach.
Yeah, you also got to take into the fact that we are having a lot more mixed babies now. So how do you be pro-black if they are culturally challenged to have another culture?
Well, I mean, it's just what can you do about it?
Right.
You know, and they said that black people make up roughly 13%, but with mixed babies, it's about 14 or so, give or take. So, I mean, as they say, one drop rule makes you black.
Right. I agree.
So, but Ramel saying the teacher's name was Miss Roach. That was her
Yeah,
name.
Miss Roach. Yeah. No, I still have our senior picture thing, and she's like in the middle.
With her running out of the classroom. Yeah, I heard about that. That was pretty infamous. And so, okay, I don't see any more comments in regards to that or Kanye. I think we decided to put the whole Kanye thing to bed because we just did. Nobody mentioned it. But Tay says, you can be pro-black and be biracial. My son is mixed, but says he's black.
Hey, well, number one, Dominic is, he's been in detention. I think he has a pass to detention this year. All that disruption that kid does.
Yeah, right.
Remember when he was over here loud and then throwing stuff on the wall and kicking my cat and spitting on my dog?
Donovan should write fiction. At Northern Vista, Romeo. But yeah, I mean, so I think that's all we have to say about that. But let's move on to one other important thing that happened this week. Some people will say it was historic and monumental.
Yes.
Jason VanDyke, the police officer in Chicago, was convicted on second-degree murder and 16 counts of aggravated assault on Laquan McDonald, who was gunned down in the middle of the street in Chicago. Now, what had happened was in 2014,
4 years it took for justice.
But what had happened was, let me get to Arson's point real quick. Well, Donovan, this goes back to the last phrase, my people first. Anytime people ask if we could be pro-black and interracial in an interracial relationship, I always answered a big no.
Right, okay.
But the kid may choose black, but is divided. Yeah, I mean, most people I know who I can't think of too many interracial or biracial people that I know.
Look right in your family.
No, I'm saying that have said that they are
white. Right, yeah.
Most of them that I know say that they are black.
Right.
My man is black and white, but he's never met his white side of the family. He identifies as a black man. It's been raised by black people, so he doesn't know. He doesn't know what it is like to be raised white, if that makes any sense.
Right.
And so, and then Romel says Kanye is a bust. Okay, now, so back to Jason VanDyke, who was convicted on second-degree murder, 16 counts of aggravated
All but
assault.
one. He's convicted of all but one.
All but one, which was misconduct or
Yeah,
something.
officer or something like
weird,
that. Yeah.
Something very weird. Okay, on Laquan McDonald, who was shot in his back originally. Once he fell to the ground after being
21
shot.
shots.
Well, I think it was 16.
Yeah, no, but he shot the gun 21 times.
Right. So he was shot in the back and then fell down, and then Officer VanDyke happened upon him, walked upon him, and continued shooting him as he was on the ground.
Wow.
And so, from that point, VanDyke and the rest of the officers said, "Oh, it was self-defense. He was coming toward, y'all know the story. He was coming toward us wielding his big-ass machete, but it was a kitchen knife or something like that.
And it wasn't a kitchen knife. He was walking away.
I think it was a, what do you call those? Maybe a switchblade or something like that.
Knife, yeah.
But so originally, the police commissioner, whoever it was like, yo, it sounds like it was plausible to me. Sounds like it was defense to me. However, the dash cam came out that says, wait a second, hold up, wait a minute, okay? Something's not right here. We see Laquan walking away from you. Mm-hmm. It's also said that VanDyke wasn't even on the scene more than 30 seconds.
Right.
He hopped out of his car like Rambo and just started shooting this guy.
They also have an audio recording on their way to the scene.
Right.
He said, we're going to have to kill.
Right. That is true.
Guy.
And so basically he falsified the police report.
Not just him. There are other officers now. That's another question we need to look at.
They're on trial. Their trial is coming up soon. There's three of them.
Yeah, there's 3 of them, but there's other people that they saw a lot of obstruction.
What had happened was, because of, to your point of the obstruction, it is said that Anita Alvarez, who was the state attorney, lost her job. They said that is probably why Rahm Emanuel is not running again. Also, that the political structure in Cook County is so corrupt that they have to go outside of Cook County to find a prosecutor who would not be biased against what was going on or for the police and stuff. And that's who you saw standing there in court fighting for the state against VanDyke. And so as it stands, he's convicted. Now, most experts are saying that he probably won't serve more than 10 years. Some people are saying 6 years.
6 years, yeah, at the most.
That some of the counts, aggravated assault, range from 4 to 20 years or 30 years or something like that.
Let me say something real quick. I really feel that if you are these police organizations and these unions need to be busted up, because you don't see the military having unions. You serve the public.
Well, that one is under investigation. Right. It's obviously more corrupt than just that situation.
But what I'm saying is these unions, when you are wielded to have a gun and to do these things, you should not be able to politically manipulate somebody. And it's going on in all kinds of countries where these unions are putting in their 2 cents.
Well, that's what happened right now. Even with this case, the police fraternal
organizations,
the KKK, for lack of better words, they're like, and I'm paraphrasing, but we're pissed off that he was convicted. There was no way he should have been convicted. He should be walking as a free man. He did his job. He did the right thing. But not once are they going to address the fact that VanDyke had like 20 other complaints against him. And I think the city of Chicago paid over almost $400,000 to a victim of his brutality. And so this is not a dude who was just, oh my gosh, I made a bad decision.
But like I said, I'm not saying unions are bad things, but public service unions should be abolished in the police force. I'm not talking about county municipality.
Well, check me, boo.
Right, you have a gun. Like I said, I was in the military. We have rifles. If every time I did something wrong and I'm a problem, the military says, you got to go now. We're not waiting until next week.
Well, no, the police officers, they have how is it that you can brutalize potentially 20 people and still have your job?
Right, and then why did it take 4 years to get outright justice?
Well, because at first they said there was nothing here, but then when I guess it took a while to come out.
But that's what I'm saying.
They're like, oh.
That's what I'm saying. But to take 4 years to give this family justice.
They were trying to. They did pay the family $5 million, although that doesn't replace the loss of your child. But of course, they're trying to find loopholes into it, which is why they have to go outside of the county to find a prosecutor, because they knew one in Cook County was going to be riding dirty. And Jonelle, you say Laquan verdict was pacification, absolutely first-degree murder, reduced to second degree. This young man is dead. VanDyke still gets his pension to live off of taxpayer money.
They got to stop all that.
And will have a low sentence on, let's see, we'll have a low sentence. On the other hand, Amber Geiger is not getting attention, and Tamir Rice Killer is back at work to shoot again.
Yeah,
Yes, he
absolutely.
is.
Yeah.
He's hired by some other police department in
Right.
Ohio somewhere. And yes, Amber Geiger is the police officer who murdered, what's his name?
That passenger guy
No.
that shot through the window.
No. She went to his house, the apartment.
Oh yeah, in Dallas. Yeah.
His
I'm sorry.
Botham.
Yeah.
And murder him. So no, you're absolutely right, and it is pacification. But I think what people should look at too, and I'm not a lawyer, but I have seen this happen before. I think
You have slept at a Holiday Inn. Go ahead.
I think I think if they would have charged him with first-degree murder, he would have walked for sure, because there's a higher burden for first-degree murder.
True.
So it's like, and you kind of, I get it, because if we charge this dude with first-degree murder, he gets off completely. You can't charge him again.
Right.
Yes, was a double jeopardy. You can't charge him again if he gets off.
Yeah.
So we might as well go
Unless
with
you go to
what's
the civil
safe.
suit, right.
Yeah, we got to go with what's, well, they'd already paid $5 million. So
Right.
we got to go with what's safe. And what's safe is to charge him with a lesser crime. If he's found guilty, hell, 6 years ain't nothing. He took this well, he wasn't a man yet. He was still a
Child.
teenager, but took his life. And so, to your point, it's pacification, because it makes most of us say, well, gosh, something is better than nothing, because I think a lot of people were expecting him to walk. I was. When I was
Yeah.
watching the verdict live, I was like,
Yeah.
he's probably going to walk, but we'll see. And I was shocked. And so, hey, Rick, he says, keep going. And Arson says, Tamir's murder is back on the job. Yes, he's back on the job. Well, he got off, you know.
And a lot of that is because of these unions.
Yeah, you figure he wasn't convicted of murder, and I think he was fired, but so he got another job. So he's
Right.
back to do it again if he wants to, which he probably will,
And
because that's what happens to a lot of these cops.
And these few bad cops are making. This is what it kills me about this. Is these few bad cops make the good cops look bad. And to me, until the good cops start crossing that blue line and start standing up, what the hell is the point of having fucking a body cam on your body, and the cop controls when it comes on and it comes off?
It was off.
Right. I mean, it's
It's been
ridiculous.
on all day long,
But-
except when I murdered this
Yeah,
kid.
but they spend our tax dollars to buy these body cams that are basically
or they
ineffective.
malfunction.
Right.
They weren't working
I mean,
this
it's like, come
particular
on.
day. Yeah.
Or the union doesn't want it in the jurisdiction because it goes
Or-
against his,
You got to subpoena that damn thing, and
it's already
force
been
it.
edited.
Right, you got to force them to show what
Right.
happened.
And if they do show it, it's months later.
Right, when somebody had killed somebody else.
Right. God,
No, I got you.
Terrible.
And so Jonelle says there's no justice under white rule. You're a cop, and you can claim cause you're white that you fear for your life.
What are you doing in that job?
In a crowd of cops with guns versus a young black child walking away with a so-called knife on video, and you overkill with 16 shots to his back.
Right.
Yeah, because that's what they said at first. Oh my God.
21 shots.
He was charging toward us, but like you said, come on. It's all of y'all out there, and what about shoot to wound?
Right.
Or to disable.
Right. Or de-escalate the situation. period.
Taser him. Something. We've seen white dudes going ham, and they do everything, but taser. They like, oh gosh, we don't want to tase you, white guy.
Wait. How many episodes of white guys being taken into custody? The guy that walked into the church,
That's
the white
what I'm
kid.
saying. But
The other white kid that shot up the school. They bring him into
or the
custody.
videos you see the white dudes punching the police officers and running away from them, and please stop.
How do you
stop?
You could get this guy into custody after a man, no problem. But a kid is walking away from you. You just 21 shots, 16 hit him right.
He was
Dead
bloodthirsty
body.
anyway. And Tay says, she's replying to Arson, yes, he was hired by another PD in Ohio. They said he deserved a second chance. Of course he does.
Of course he does.
He's a
has a
white
family.
guy. He was just doing his job. He's got a mouth
He paid
to
his
feed.
union dues on
Never
time.
mind poor little Tamir Rice, who was playing in the park with his sister, his young sister, who was shot within, 2 or 3 seconds after the police officer spotted him. Didn't say, hey, stop, what are you doing? And they thought it was a man with a gun. Well, Ohio's an open and carry state, so why can't he have a gun?
Wait.
How do you know it wasn't illegal?
I have to correct you. Ohio is open carry state if you're white.
Well, I know, but I'm saying that's the law under the law. That's not the law
I
here
guarantee
where
you,
we see.
if you're a black person and you're walking around with your gun in a legal open and carry state, they will come
Well, we know
and
that.
ask you.
We know that. Philando Castile, he was in an open and carry state, and he was murdered in his car in front of his girlfriend and her child.
Exactly.
Joe Nelson says Shantae Wilder, 100% damn shame and mockery. Absolutely. And he also say, right, they got more utilities than black men on their belts, and these cowards in wolf packs always choose their guns. Absolutely. But I mean, but that's because if you're a police officer, you don't value black life.
No,
Black
you
people
don't.
are just targets to them. Hell,
You don't.
in some police departments, some police department they had a black man as a target.
Yeah.
For them to practice.
Yeah, for training. Yeah, for training.
Yeah,
Mhm.
black life is it's nothing
It has
to
no
them.
value.
None.
No value.
They would hesitate shooting a dog before they hesitated shooting a black man.
I agree with that.
Well, he says he meant then Batman. They got more utility
Yeah,
than
the
Batman.
Batman. Yeah, Batman already had everything. The shark repellent.
Right, but like you
everything.
said, you reach for the gun.
And if you didn't reach for the gun, what was that one where the guy ran away from it? They planted evidence on him to make it look like.
Right. So
We
I'm
don't have a
but
chance.
we get it. We're black people who are a little bit aware. We're not oblivious to why police officers murder. We also know that police departments, the inception of them were slave patrols to subjugate black people in and after slavery, especially after slavery. Because listen, we can't have 4 million Negroes roaming free.
Right. But
We need to make sure y'all ain't raping our good white women's and plotting on us. We can't have y'all doing that.
Right. But what do I always say on this show and all the other shows? I'm not saying you have to know the law, but know the basics of the law. When a police officer comes up to you, the first thing you should say, if you're going to do a consensual contact with them, what is your name? What is your badge number? Because the minute you do that, that clicks off in their head. Uh-oh, this guy might know a little bit.
Rarely, though.
Yeah.
It rarely clicks off in
Yeah.
their head because we've seen a copious amount of videos where black people are like, yo, why are you arresting me? What's the charge?
No.
I've already told you. I don't, and then it ends up bad.
No, I understand that. But what I'm saying, that's why I'm trying to educate people. Kind of, you have a right.
When it works.
Well, the thing is, he's a public servant.
Yeah,
It's their policy.
I agree with you on
It's their
that. I
policy.
agree with you on that.
So that way you know who you're talking to.
Listen, I totally agree. You should know the law, but I'm here to argue the other side of that is that even as a black person in America, when you, not even just black men anymore, I saw a video of a grandmother, I think she was a grandmother,
I saw that.
getting her door kicked in, and it was a Negro police officer who was
those
doing
are the
it.
worst. Those are the worst.
Yeah, and they snatching her up out the house, and she's saying, "Where's your warrant? I need the warrant. What are you arresting me for?" He doesn't have to tell her.
Right.
Kicks her door in, and so I get what you're saying as far as we need to know the law because we do.
The basic law, right?
But if you are a black person in America, the law was never written for you.
Yeah, I agree.
Never was to benefit you. So police officers with that already in their mind, they're not gonna listen. And all they see is a black nigga being defiant to them.
Right.
I
And their
don't
authority.
have to explain nothing to you. You better do as I say, for I hurt you or
Right.
I murder you.
Right.
And that's where it is.
Right. Now, again, I agree with you. It's not a disagreement. What I'm saying is, when I was down at the courthouse doing my jury duty, and everybody needs to show up for jury duty. Please show up for jury duty. They didn't want a camera in there, and they tried to accost me. And the first thing I said, every officer that came to me, of course they're going to come and surround a skinny little black man in the court. I'm such a threat. Everyone, I said, "What's your name?" Before I even talked, because it was consensual. I knew it was consensual. I said, "Hey, I'm not breaking any laws. What is your name before you talk? What is your name? What is your name? What is your name?" And they were all like, "Oh, okay." I said, "Isn't that your policy?" And then we started talking. And then I said, "Hey, I don't want to talk to you anymore. I'm breaking this consensual contact off," and I walked away.
Well, see that, but I hate to say this too, Donovan. Okay. Yes, you're knowledgeable, but you were also very fortunate in that you didn't end up like
True.
Philando Castile, and that he didn't even get to utter 2, 3, maybe 4, 10 words before he was murdered.
Right. I understand.
And so it's like, in utopia, yeah, you should be able to recite the laws, and police officers, you're right. But who was it? The congressman back in the day, the black man has what? No rights.
No right. A white man should respect.
That a white man will respect it. So if they know they ain't got to respect you, nigga.
Right.
Do as I say before it goes down up in here. That's really where they're coming from.
Right.
So, but I get it. And Jonelle says, "What's amazing? You don't got every day, every other month, week, etc. Cases of black officers shooting whites or anybody at random, fearing for their life. And when 2 cases happen with the white woman, I know exactly what you're talking about. Let's see. With the white woman and the other black child, them cops got arrested and are a mystery. Yes." They probably already serving a 25 to life sentence. They're talking about the brother who shot the white lady in the driveway because he thought she was reaching for something.
Yeah.
And white people lost their minds. You didn't hear the whole, well, what did she do before the video started?
Right.
Well, how do we know that she didn't comply? And if she would have just come, we didn't hear none of that. It was all the horror. He needs to pay. He killed our white woman. What are we going to do now? You know, and he was
gone.
Like they didn't take, like you said, with this VanDyke dude, they didn't take 4 years to convict him.
Right.
Like you said, where is he? And the brothers that killed the little white boy in Louisiana, was 2 cops. They dealt with them. Where they at?
Quickly.
Where did a Bermuda Triangle swallow them up? Where are these brothers at? Are they still alive? I mean, really?
You know, and I think also the swiftness in the justice is the ignorance of not knowing the law or not having a good representation. Because what's the first thing when you get a public defender or a white lawyer, if you're lucky to get one, we need to take this plea deal.
And I learned that. I can't remember what I was watching, because I watch a lot of stuff. But it says that this number could be kind of high, but 98% of cases end in the plea deal.
In a plea deal, right.
Gosh, that's a lot of people who don't. Understand why you wouldn't, especially as black people don't have faith in the legal system. But that's a lot of people saying, I'm going to take a strike or something on my record opposed to, going to jail.
Right, but wouldn't it be better, since they're going to get you anyway, just go through the trial?
Yeah, make them work for it. I agree. We spending all this taxpayer money.
Exactly. Go through the trial.
I don't want 25 to life, but damn.
And here's a funny thing, real quick, for those guys that
and not to cut you off, but Jonelle says Judge Tanny Dred Scott case.
Yes. You guys remember Shira Wright? She was the wife of the basketball player. She was deemed competent to stand trial. So she is still going through the situation.
I forgot all about her, to be honest with you.
The brother that is her co-conspirator, he was deemed indigent because he's been locked up for 6 months, so he doesn't have any money. So now they have to, the taxpayers are going to pay for his investigations and any other money moving forward. So take him to court.
Take it to trial.
Take it to trial, shoot.
And Jonelle says the other case was a white child got killed by accident in the back of a truck while they were shooting at the father. Yes, that's the one in Louisiana. And Arson says knowing the law is useful. Unfortunately, is no sure way to get off the hook. The wrong quote-unquote officer will still shoot you no matter what. And then we'll be off the hook. Same story over and over again. Absolutely.
No, absolutely. But then again,
Secret Garden, where you been?
But then again, you also got to take in the concept of you as the person got to know when to de-escalate and kind of back off and walk away.
And then Secret Garden said 44 years in jail. Black cops go to jail. Like you said, wow. But now, of course. Now listen. This is where wisdom is going to have to kick in. I just,
yes,
listen.
Please, pass it on.
You already know, as black people in America, the minute the po-po come up behind you, I don't know what your chances are of survival just on the fact that they came up behind you. But the last thing you want to do is be getting it crunk with the man. Because he waiting. He just itching. He's just like, please, nigga, please. Give me a reason to do something to you. Just give me a reason. And so I know that is an emotional thing. Somebody accuses you or does something to you that you don't like. You like to get hypey and, I'm going to tell you, don't do that.
Right. Because when I was in the court, in my situation where they didn't want cameras in the court, and I said, that's illegal, blah, blah, blah. Guess what? I made my point. That's what I got to do. I said, look, I'm out.
At the end of the day, you want to go home.
Exactly. I put my camera in the car. I came back.
And we want to be right or dead.
Right, exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
So you as the individual need to know when to hold them and know when to fold them.
Yeah, because listen, while I might know my rights and officer, you this, that, and the other, you need to show me whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop.
No.
I want to go home tonight.
Comply.
I can go to court the next day. And go from there, but I want to go home. At the very least, I want to make it to jail alive. If you're going to take me to jail, I don't want my family to be having to uncover some shit trying to find out how I got strangled up or something
you're
crazy.
in the paddy wagon. Next thing you know, you're dead coming out of it.
Freddie Gray is good. You know, they're taking him to jail, and they drove him around the block a few times in a van, and when they finally pulled him out, his neck is broken. Or we don't know what happened to him. So, I mean...
Yeah, so you got to know when the...
And he wasn't even doing that. They literally snatched his kid up off the street. And he comes out of the van dead. Yeah. And so, I agree with you. We should know the law, but we should know when to shut the up.
Yeah. You know, make your point and go about your business.
Yeah, officer, I didn't run a stoplight. Yes, you did. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
What do you need me...
Yeah, give me the ticket.
What do you need me to do from this point on, officer?
Right.
What do I got to do?
Right. Fight it in court. Fight it in court. Because he's not the arbitrator, the judge.
I read a book that said police officers are, in many cases, the judge, jury, and executioner right on the spot. They're not supposed to be.
Right, but
they're supposed to protect and serve. But in that instance, especially when they see your black ass, I'm the judge, jury, and executioner. What you gonna do?
At that point,
I could fabricate this report right now, and 9.5 times out of 10, I'm gonna be believed.
Well, I'm gonna say in my situation when those 5 officers surrounded me, I knew that it was time that my point was pointless, and it was time to.
It was a moot point. Like, okay, Donovan, shut the.
Yeah, it was like I want to break off this consensual contact. I'm gonna go and put my camera in the car.
Yeah, because I know your mama wasn't trying to come bail your black ass out.
Exactly. But you know what I mean? I knew, hey, I will comply. Let me go do it.
You want to be right or dead. That's honestly, I know that's a sucky situation for us as black people here in America, but that's just the truth. I mean, it's the truth now as it was in 1818 or 1918
or
when, you know, you walking down the street, you and your family coming from church, and then the white man ride up on you on his horse. Where you going, niggers?
Let me see your papers.
Oh, no, we're just going home from church, sir. Opposed to why you want to know where we going? You do better than do that. Now I know we got rights now, but we're almost at that point still. You know what you doing now? I was just going home, sir. You know what I mean? And not to make light of it, but
and especially when we're on the back street and you know there ain't no city cameras looking back there, anything can happen to you.
God, yeah, that's and I'm a black woman. And that's scary. I haven't been, knock on wood. Let me see your leg. I haven't been pulled over in a minute, but the times that I have been pulled over, it's been very scary for me. Like, golly, is this cop gonna be on one, or what's the deal here?
Are you telling your listeners that your dad's FOI sticker on the back of the bumper?
I haven't been pulled over. Okay.
If those that don't know, Fruit of Islam.
Do they have NOI stickers that you can put a decal on the back of your car or the side of the window, so when an officer come up, they'll be like, oh, okay, never mind, go about your business.
Go about your business, ma'am. Please go.
Okay.
they know if they mess with you, there's going to be some problems later on.
That's funny. But no, in all seriousness, we just... we got to use wisdom always. In all things, especially as black people, we got to use wisdom. And so, Officer Jason VanDyke, did he get what he deserved?
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. Remember when they got Saddam? Ladies and gentlemen?
Right.
We got him.
Yeah, and I guess the black people were ebullient for that, for behind him going to jail. For a good reason, but did he get what he deserved? No. He deserved a first-degree murder conviction.
Life for a life.
Yeah, I mean, he deserved the first-degree murder conviction, and especially since he lied, but he didn't get off.
Right. And it's really a sad
And they said
thing.
that it's been 51 years since a police officer in Chicago
was convicted.
Murdering, I think it's a black person, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
So that's a long time.
But again, I don't know about you guys, but cops, because we are the government, we give them the power to police us, and when they abuse that power, that's why they should be held at a higher standard. So when they take a life unnecessarily, they should be immediately
Well,
put to
Dr.
death.
Carl Anderson in closing talks about this too, because I don't see any more comments. He says that when black people practice group economics, we should we practice it and practice it right. We should be able to have some influence on the police department.
Right, and some say.
Yeah, you know, because when you where there's money, there's power. Where there's unity, there's power. And so, if we were a force to be reckoned with, they would think twice before murdering one of us in cold blood and then going home and eating their dinner that Becky made for them.
Sue.
Yeah, or Sue, Barb, or whoever. You know, it's like to kill a black person in cold blood. Go home, honey. Is dinner almost ready?
Yeah. I mean,
how was your day, honey? Oh, I just killed an egger.
Yeah, it's almost like it's nothing.
Well, how was it?
Yeah, it's almost like it's nothing. Like it's like, you know,
and sleep at night. Like if I feel like I've lied, which I don't lie like that. I might lie about how much I weigh or something, but not major. But if I feel like I've done something bad, it's hard for me to sleep at night.
Well, here's the thing. You know, I was a military man, even in combat, and, you know, we're doing these things. We're dropping bombs on these people, and we're shooting up these people. Even though this is the enemy, I still felt bad.
Something.
Because this is a human being that's been destroyed.
Which is why a lot of you guys come back with issues, because you can't just say, well, yeah, I murked 70 people.
What's for dinner?
Yeah, that I would imagine. Because a friend of mine, in closing, he was in the Vietnam War, and there was another co-worker who was bragging about the Vietnam War, and he says, I know right away that he's lying about being there. He says because anybody who was there
in combat
rarely talks about it. And he said, my friend who was saying that, he was on body detail, and he says it's so disturbing. That's not something you talk about or brag about.
Yeah, when you see people heads blown, I mean, whenever anybody's bragging about that, you know they've never been in combat.
And that's what he said. He said there's no way you're coming back bragging about, you know, killing people or whatever at war or Vietnam. And so I don't see any more of you guys' comments. I don't know if they're just coming through slowly or whatever the case is. But as always, it is our pleasure to do this show with you guys. Those of you who may have been watching on YouTube, and those who will watch eventually on a produced version of the Demetra K Show. It is our pleasure to do this always. Again, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please inbox us so that we can talk about it, research it, and see if we can learn something new from one another. And Secret Guardian says, cops' occupation, not protect and serve. No, absolutely.
No, yeah, it's just a paycheck.
It's a paycheck.
High-paying paycheck.
And if I kill one of them, you know, and a lot of them are bloodthirsty. It's just almost, in a lot of their organizations, there's no doubt in my mind that they have some sort of merit system.
Yeah, bounty type system.
Yeah, or you've made it if you killed one.
Right, you're in the club.
Thing.
Yeah, you're in the club.
Yeah, so I don't doubt that to them. Protect and serve is a farce nowadays, really it is, especially for black people.
Wait, real quick. There's a movie that's coming out. It has to do with some girl in high school. Do you know what I'm talking about? They're talking about it.
The hate you give.
Yeah, The Hate You Give or Gave or something.
My daughter read the book. She said it was a really good book.
Okay, so
the Hate
you know,
You Give.
if you get the chance to check it out, I don't really endorse movies, but I heard a really lot of.
I saw the previews. It looks okay.
It looks okay. So.
So people are saying that. Can you see? He's saying that there's a lot of comments, but for whatever reason, I'm not getting them on my end, you guys. I don't know why.
The comments are good.
But because Marcus is saying that he sees comments, but yeah, I don't see the comments, you guys. The last comment I see on my end are from Secret Guardian when he says cops occupation not protect and serve. That is odd.
We need to say this. D does have a flip phone.
I do not have no damn flip phone. I'm gonna wait a second or two before I leave here. Thank you, Marcus, for letting me know that.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
I'm going to wait a second or two and see if some more comments pop up from. Okay, I'm starting to see them now. NG, I think that's how you say it. It says be wise men. Okay, so I see one. I don't know why they're popping up slow. Facebook, you hating on me?
Could be.
Is there a conspiracy against me?
All right,
what's
guys,
really going on? So yeah, I'll wait a second or two because, like I said, I just saw NG's comment pop up, but that's it. Can you look on your end?
I am looking right now.
Okay, so Donovan's going to look, and if I can see the comments from his end, I will read the comments from his phone. I don't know why I don't see them here. That is odd. It's all outdoors.
You got a flip phone.
I ain't got no damn flip phone.
You ain't giving your money to nobody.
Okay. No, I don't have a flip phone, you guys. So let me go ahead and see here, and then let me shut off YouTube as well, you guys. Hold on one second.
All right, YouTube. See you later.
Here we go.